Hello, my name is Gayle McLaughlin, and I'm the former two-term mayor of Richmond, California. I'm also the first corporate-free council member of the Richmond City Council, and I'm a co-founder of the Richmond Progressive Alliance, the RPA. The RPA is the grassroots organization that propelled me and other progressives in Richmond into elected office. I'm also a corporate-free candidate for Lieutenant Governor of California. Sorry I couldn't be with you in person today, but I had a previously scheduled engagement. However, I'm delighted to be able to be with you via video and share this message. Now let me start out by explaining what the RPA is all about. The RPA is an inclusive, diverse, welcoming, progressive, corporate-free, year-round organization. We came together in 2003 based on our progressive values, regardless of party affiliation or no party affiliation. We came together with the purpose of building local political power, and we did this by running candidates for local office without any corporate money. And we also did this by building a local progressive movement year in and year out. Now, Richmond, first of all, is a city across the San Francisco Bay from San Francisco. We're a very diverse city, and we have a major oil refinery in our city limits, the Chevron Richmond Oil Refinery. Now, before the RPA came about, Chevron had either purchased the vast majority of the council or had them very intimidated. Now, Richmond was also known as a very high crime city. But over the course of time, that changed dramatically. We have made many accomplishments. One of the most recent accomplishments occurred in November 2016. When the entire country shifted right, we in Richmond shifted further left by electing 2 new corporate-free council members. That gave us 5 corporate-free council seats out of 7. That's a super majority of council members elected without any corporate money. And this in a town that had Chevron dominating the entire city council not that long before. And we did this in spite of Chevron spending millions of dollars over the years to try and defeat us. In fact, in 2014, they spent $3.5 million to try and defeat me and 2 other progressives running for city council. And all of us progressives won, while all of the Chevron-supported candidates lost. So that was an amazing feat. In addition, we won our rent control ballot measure in November. And that was the first new rent control law passed in California in 30 years. We did this by educating the community and door to door and, reaching out, building relationships. That's the kind of grassroots organization that the RPA is all about. Other accomplishments were things like passing an increase in the minimum wage, going up to $15 an hour. We also reduced crime dramatically. We had a 75% reduction in homicides over 8 years. We did this by addressing the roots of violence, offering opportunities, and also by having community-involved policing. We also got $114 million in additional taxes from Chevron, and we redefined their environmental obligations. We also defended immigrants. We are a sanctuary city. We also defended our public schools and opposed the expansion of charter schools. And we joined a community choice aggregation program where 85% of our community receives its electricity from cleaner, greener, and cheaper sources of energy. So these were just a few of our accomplishments. And people were starting to take notice, people around Richmond, around the state, and in other places. So we started giving presentations, sharing our experience, telling them about our Richmond Progressive Alliance model. And I was one of the people giving many of the presentations. And it soon became clear to me and others that we would have a larger stage, a louder megaphone. We could get our message to go further if we ran a statewide campaign. And so I decided to run for Lieutenant Governor of California. Now I want to start out by saying my campaign for Lieutenant Governor is essentially an organizing campaign. I'm going around making these presentations that I had made even before I chose to run for Lieutenant Governor, encouraging people to build progressive alliances and run candidates for local office with no corporate money. And people are responding and building many progressive alliances up and down the state, and I'm encouraging more. And of course, I'm running to win. And when I win the position of Lieutenant Governor, I will continue this organizing, continuing to encourage cities and communities to organize, build progressive alliances and organizations, and of course, run those corporate-free, principled candidates for office. And then network these alliances together so we have strength throughout the state to stand for the statewide issues that we need to get implemented. Some issues can't be implemented on a local level, so therefore we have to push these statewide issues like single-payer Medicare for all, Free College California, reforming Prop 13 by closing the corporate loophole. We need to pass a progressive millionaires tax. We need to pass an oil severance tax so that we can take this tax money and solarize our whole state and really move away from fossil fuels. We need to bring about aid to cities for affordable housing. We also need to repeal Costa-Hawkins so that we can protect more renters. We need to have a sanctuary state to protect immigrants. We also need to defend our public schools against privatization, and we need to stop privatizing prisons. And we really need to reform the criminal justice system. And, of course, we need to denounce repeatedly the corporate interference in our state government. Now, all these things were things that Bernie Sanders said as well. And I'm so proud that in 2014, Bernie came to Richmond. This was before his presidential campaign, and he endorsed me and 2 other RPA progressives running for city council. And of course, his message resonated with us, and he really lifted up our style of organizing as a model for others throughout the nation. And then, of course, in 2016, as Bernie's campaign gained more and more momentum, I decided to change my registration to no party preference. And I did this. I was formerly a Green Party member. I chose to re-register NPP, no party preference, because in California, NPP registered voters can vote for presidents on the Democratic ticket. So I wanted to vote for Bernie, and I did. And after the primary, I chose to stay registered NPP. And I did this for a number of reasons. First and foremost, I want to be able to vote for Bernie Sanders again in 2020 if he runs again as a Democrat. I also decided that staying independent was a good idea because it allows me to build on my relationships with progressive Democrats, but also with Green Party members, Peace and Freedom Party members, and others throughout the state. And of course, our California elections are based on the 2 top vote getters in statewide elections and statewide primaries. So it's really not a party election. It's more of a open primary with the top 2 vote getters, regardless of party or no party, that go on to the general election. So even though I have chosen to stay independent, I fully support the great fight that so many are waging within the Democratic Party, fighting against the corporate Democrats and standing for a principled direction apart from corporate control. So keep standing up for your principles and keep standing up against that corporate control. And I want to end by saying, once again, that organizing is what's essential at this time in history. Organizing in all our cities, our communities, throughout the state, so we have that power, that empowerment of people involved in our democracy, so that we can showcase state power and really be a model for other states throughout the nation. So let me end by saying that organizing is hard work, and it just is something that has to be done, and we can have fun doing it. There's nothing more joyful than building solidarity with one another. So let me end with these words. The present is a time of struggle, but the future is ours. Thank you so much for your attention.